Welcome to Book Bytes, the Azle Memorial Library's 2021 Summer Reading Book Buzz program. I'm Liz, the Adult Services Librarian here at the library, and this week I'd like to welcome Miss Lisa, our children's librarian, to discuss up-and-coming new young adult fiction titles.
Our first title, Instructions for Dancing by Nicola Yoon, was published June 1st. With a 4.4 rating on Goodreads, it has ongoing starred reviews by Booklist, Kirkus, Publishers Weekly, and School Library Journal. Yoon, the best-selling author of Everything Everything and The Sun is Also a Star, is back with her eagerly anticipated third novel. With all the heart and hope of her last two books, this is an utterly unique romance. Evie Thomas doesn't believe in love anymore, especially after the strangest thing occurs one otherwise ordinary afternoon. She witnesses a couple kiss and is overcome with a vision of how their romance began and how it will end. After all, even the greatest love stories end with a broken heart, eventually. As Evie tries to understand why this is happening, she finds herself at Librarian Dance Studio, learning to waltz, foxtrot, and tango with a boy named X. X is everything that Evie is not: adventurous, passionate, daring. His philosophy is to say yes to everything, including entering a ballroom dance competition with a girl he's only just met. Falling for X is definitely not what Evie had in mind. If her visions of heartbreak have taught her anything, it's that no one escapes love unscathed. But as she and X dance around and toward each other, Evie is forced to question all she thought she knew about life and love. In the end, is love worth the risk? Next up, we have a mystery thriller and fourth in the Truly Devious series, The Box in the Woods by Maureen Johnson. After solving the case of Truly Devious, Stevie Bell investigates her first mystery outside of Ellingham Academy in this spine-chilling and hilarious standalone mystery from New York Times best-selling author Maureen Johnson. Amateur sleuth Stevie Bell needs a good murder. After catching a killer at her high school, she's back at home for a normal, that means boring, summer. But then she gets a message from the owner of Sunny Pines, formerly known as Camp Wonderfalls, the site of the notorious unsolved case, the Box in the Woods murders. Back in 1978, 4 camp counselors were killed in the woods outside of the town of Barlow Corners, their bodies left in a gruesome display. The new owner offers Stevie an invitation: come to the camp and help him work on a true crime podcast about the case. Stevie agrees as long as she can bring along her friends from Ellingham Academy. Nothing sounds better than a summer spent together investigating old murders. But something evil still lurks in Barlow Corners. When Stevie opens the lid on this long dormant case, she gets much more than she bargained for. The Box in the Woods will make room for more victims. This time, Stevie may not make it out alive. Out on June 15th, this title has a 4.3 rating on Goodreads, with ongoing starred reviews by Booklist and Kirkus. Next is Any Way the Wind Blows by Rainbow Rowell. It's book number 3 in the fantasy romance Simon Snow series. In Carry On, Simon Snow and his friends realized that everything they thought they understood about the world might be wrong. And in Wayward Son, they wondered whether everything they understood about themselves might be wrong. In Any Way the Wind Blows, Simon and Boz and Penelope and Agatha have to decide how to move forward. For Simon, that means deciding whether he still wants to be part of the world of mages. And if he doesn't, what does that mean for his relationship with Boz? Meanwhile, Boz is bouncing between two family crises and not finding any time to talk to anyone about his newfound vampire knowledge. Penelope would love to help, but she's smuggled an American normal into London, and now she isn't sure what to do with him. And Agatha? Well, Agatha Wellbeloved has had enough. Any Way the Wind Blows takes the gang back to England, back to Watford, and back to their families for their longest and most emotionally wrenching adventure yet. This book is a finale. It tells secrets and answers questions and lies ghosts to rest. Carry On was conceived as a book about chosen one stories. Any Way the Wind Blows is an ending about endings, about catharsis and closure and how we choose to move on from the traumas and triumphs that try to define us. This title is available July 6 and has a 4.6 rating on Goodreads. Our next title is the first in fantasy series by the same name. Six Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim follows Shiori, who, as the only princess of Kyoto, is keeping a secret. Forbidden magic runs through her veins. Normally she conceals it well, but on the morning of her betrothal ceremony, Shiori loses control. At first, her mistake seems like a stroke of luck, forestalling the wedding she never wanted. But it also catches the attention of Rakama, her stepmother. Rakama has dark magic of her own, and she banishes the young princess, turning her brothers into cranes and warning Shiori that she must speak of it to no one. For with every word that escapes her lips, one of her brothers will die. Penniless, voiceless, and alone, Shiori searches for her brothers, and on her journey uncovers a conspiracy to overtake the throne. A conspiracy more twisted and deceitful, more cunning and complex than even Rakama's betrayal. Only Shiori can set the kingdom to rights, but to do so she must place her trust in the very boy she fought so hard not to marry. And she must embrace the magic she has been taught all her life to contain, no matter what it costs her. Out on July 6th, this title has a 4.5 rating on Goodreads and ongoing star reviews by Publishers Weekly. And our last title of the week is a historical fiction piece from the critically acclaimed author of The Downstairs Girl. Luck of the Titanic by Stacey Lee brings to life the richly imagined story of Valora and Jamie Luck, twin British-Chinese acrobats traveling aboard the Titanic on its ill-fated maiden voyage. Southampton, 1912. 17-year-old British-Chinese Valora Luck has quit her job and smuggled herself aboard the Titanic, with two goals in mind: to reunite with her twin brother Jamie, her only family now that both their parents are dead, and to convince a part owner of the Ringling Brothers Circus to take the twins on as acrobats. Quick-thinking Val talks her way into opulent first-class accommodations and finds Jamie with a group of fellow Chinese laborers in third class. But in the rigidly stratified world of the luxury liner, Val's ruse can only last so long, and after 2 long years apart, it's unclear if Jamie even wants the life Val proposes. Then, one moonless night in the North Atlantic, the unthinkable happens. The supposedly unsinkable ship is dealt a fatal blow, and Val and her companions suddenly find themselves in a race to survive. Stacey Lee, master of historical fiction, brings a fresh perspective to an infamous tragedy, loosely inspired by the recently uncovered account of 6 Titanic survivors of Chinese descent. Published May 4th, this title has ongoing starred reviews by Booklist, Kirkus, Publishers Weekly, and School Library Journal, as well as a 4.1 rating on Goodreads.
Thank you for sharing those titles with us. I hope you guys were able to find something to add to your to-be-read pile, but if not, don't worry. Check out our other videos in this series. If you weren't able to check out the premiere of any video, you can access them through our YouTube and Facebook pages. Thank you, and see you next week.